Good morning, everyone. If you're looking at me and you can't hear me, you might just take a moment to pop on your headsets. That'll help. Fantastic. While people are coming in, I just want to say good morning to all of you. I am really excited to be back in Sydney. I actually studied here for a semester a few years ago, and it's always good to come back and experience some new experiences as well as revisit some of the old ones that I remember. My name is Audrey Harris, and I am a product marketer on the Sales Cloud team, and I'm really thrilled that you decided to start your morning with me talking about sales in the age of intelligence. Before I begin, if you've been to any Salesforce presentation ever, this is a slide that you've probably seen in some form or fashion before. It is simply a reminder that you should always make your purchasing decisions based on products that are currently available in market. I'd like to start by talking about how great of a time it is to be in sales. And this isn't a statement that I make lightly. If you think about the evolution of the sales process and where we've come from over the years and over the centuries, it looks quite different. If you think about how you might have interacted with salespeople at the start of your career, maybe your headset. If you think about how when you started your career, sorry about that, what it looked like was a little bit different. You had the opportunity to get information maybe at a high level about a product, but not so much about the details. And what ended up happening is when you were ready to make a purchase, you went to a static website. There was some broader information, but when you needed to actually get more information, you had to contact the sales rep. And that took out some of it made it a little bit more of a transactional relationship, and you weren't able to get as much information as you needed. But if we think about what that looks like now, buyers have access to all of the information that they could possibly need. And actually what we're finding is that buyers have they've made their way 80% through the sales process before even reaching out to a sales rep. So when they reach out to you as a sales rep, they're expecting you to be a trusted advisor, to actually give them more insight into how your product can solve their business need. They have access to information, you have access to more information than you ever have before, and it turns into this large collection of information, and how you manage that is what separates you from your competitors. And when we talk about what that means with all of this information is really about what we do with it and how we get insights from it. And that's when we start to think about this fourth industrial revolution. If you've seen any messaging from Salesforce, you've probably heard us talk about the fourth industrial revolution. And it's really about this evolution that we've taken from steam to electricity to digital computing. And now we're thinking a little bit more about how we manage all of the information that we have, right? Everything is connected. We think about, we have these computers in our pockets. We have buildings that are connected. There are planes, trains, and automobiles are connected. Light bulbs. Even the suitcase I brought with me today or this week is connected, and I can track it anywhere around the world. And when you have all of that information, there are insights that you need to be able to glean from that. And that's what we like to think about from an intelligence perspective, is how we use that information to transform our businesses. And as sales reps, it's just as important. You have data and you have a lot of information that you can use to help you build those relationships with your leads and with your contacts. But how you use it is what makes the big difference. And that's where we start to talk about artificial intelligence. And what we're finding is that artificial intelligence is becoming an even bigger component of how you should be thinking about transforming your business. In fact, the McKinsey Global Institute actually did some modeling where they looked at what the impact of artificial intelligence is. And what they found was that companies who are transforming their business with artificial intelligence and they're adopting it over the next 5 to 7 years or so are seeing, or will see, a 122% increase in their cash flows by the year 2030. That's more than double. And on the flip side, for those companies who are not transforming and are not changing with the business, they're actually going to see a drop in cash flow of over 20%. So these are projections, right? And projections are just that, projections. But the bottom line is The thing that we should all take away is that AI is important, and the time to be thinking about how we transform with artificial intelligence is now. What does that mean for you and your sales teams? Well, here's something that we know to be true. Sales reps are drowning in information. They have way more information than they could possibly need, and all of the activities that they need to do are quite difficult, right? And you think about identifying who are the right people that you should be contacting, when is the right time to contact them, through what channel, do you have enough pipeline to meet your goals? And then are you actually able to report back to your company and your leadership teams whether or not you're going to hit your goals? And it starts to look little something like this. It's very noisy, right? And how do you cut through the noise and identify the places where you need to have impact so that you can do what you can do to deliver for your customers? And this is not just a challenge for actual sales reps. We're seeing that the leaders in these roles are having problems as well, right? Thinking about how to use their time more effectively. And this is a study that the Harvard Business Review reported on that actually reported out how managers are using their time. They interviewed over 1,700 managers across 14 countries. And they found that over half of them were spending their time on administrative tasks. And only about 7% of their time was actually spent developing their team. And only 10% was spent actually thinking about planning strategically. And what that means, or what that sounds like, is that it actually should be flipped, right? That's kind of backwards. 50% of your time should not be spent on administrative tasks. You should be spending that time connecting with your teams and making sure that you're focusing on the right deals at the right time. And it's costing all of us. So we at Salesforce actually have done quite a bit of work listening to our customers as well. And we've heard over the 150,000 customers that we are excited to have, we've listened to them and talked about what they need from us. And what they've said to us very clearly is that they need the ability to have their CRM talk back to them and give them insights around what has already happened, what's going to happen in the future, and how they can move through and deliver on what they expect to happen in a clear and concise way. And we boil those down into the 3 buckets that you see here around insights, on descriptive insights, as well as guidance, and then thinking about how we're doing forecasting and productivity. So how we deliver that to the market is through Sales Cloud Einstein. You can sell smarter with Sales Cloud Einstein, which delivers on those 3 categories that I've just talked a little bit about. And I'll dive a little bit deeper into those. And the first of which is around productivity. If you think about how your sales reps are managing their calls and their customers and prospects day to day, this is really about giving the right insights that those sales reps need to drive and talk to the right customers at the right time. It takes out a lot of the busy work that allows you to be able to spend your time in the best way, which is selling to customers and developing relationships. And how we do that first is through Salesforce Inbox. This brings your CRM together with your email and surfaces insights within your email so that you see which emails you should be connecting with and diving into first, where there might be an executive involved, where there might have been a request for a quote or a request for a meeting. You can see those and surface those right at the beginning or at the top of your day so that you're not combing through all of the emails that you have to manage. And it also helps with things like Einstein Activity Capture, which for all of those tasks that you're doing, taking meetings, taking calls, automatically capturing that activity and updating your CRM automatically. Think about how powerful that could be and how much time you spend as a sales rep doing those tasks day to day. Secondly, it's really about actionable insights. So I've been talking about this concept of insights over and over again, and we deliver on that both on the lead and opportunity side. And the first of which is through Einstein lead scoring, which gives you the ability to, as a sales rep, identify which of your leads have the highest likelihood to convert so that you're spending your time on those leads that are most likely to convert. And with the insights that you see right in your CRM, you're able to identify the reasons why those leads are most likely to convert so that you can take the right actions when you're communicating with them and connecting with them, so you're delivering to the experience that is personalized to them and that they expect in the right way. Secondly, there's this concept of having analytics, right? So we talk a little bit about all of the insights from contact to contact and from lead to lead. But it's really also about what you do with that information at the macro level. And with sales analytics, you have the capability of using and utilizing pre-built reports and dashboards. There are actually over 60 of them that are ready to go right out of the box so that you can take a look at your business performance and drive the deals and opportunities that make the most sense for your bottom line. And then finally, forecast accuracy. And this comes to bear with forecasting, right? We all want to know how and where we're going to land for the end of the quarter or the end of the year. And with Einstein forecasting, you actually get a predicted where you'll land. And with you'll also get a confidence range and waterfall charts that tell you which deals contribute to you hitting your number. Let's think about how powerful that can be. And this isn't just me talking generally about features. We have customers that are seeing real and tangible results as a result of adopting Einstein. And what that looks like for these two customers, and I'll talk a little bit more in detail about them as we move forward in the process. But this slide is really just to highlight for you, this isn't necessarily just about productivity as much as it is about delivering on the bottom line and impacting your revenue in a real and tangible way. So what I'd like to talk about now is a little bit of a journey. There are a number of use cases that you can think about how you can tackle artificial intelligence and how you might implement Einstein for your business. And I'll take a few moments to walk through 5 of them. So bear with me. The first of which is around productivity, right? I've been talking a little bit about productivity as we've moved on. And that's really around this concept of taking out all of the busy work that happens with your sales reps. And I talked a little bit about Einstein Activity Capture in Inbox. And this is one of the ways that you can help drive adoption with your sales teams. Legend Boats actually did this. The CEO of this company actually reached out to us because he was seeing about 4,000 emails a month in his inbox. And it became so overwhelming that he actually ended up hiring a virtual assistant, and he was paying that virtual assistant $20,000 a year just to manage the inbox and the influx of emails that he would receive every day. He found out about Salesforce Inbox and actually had a pilot team start the process, and once he decided to roll it out to the rest of his company, he had an actual sales rep do a demo for the rest of the team. And as a part of that demo, he started to get read receipts from a particular prospect that had been in his pipeline. And he got the first read receipt, and he continued with the demo. And after the 4th one, his VP of sales told him to actually stop the demo and go and reach out to that prospect. He came back shortly after, and he closed an $80,000 boat deal just as a result of Inbox and the engagement that he was seeing even through training. The second concept, or the second use case that we want to talk a little bit about, is being able to focus on the most important opportunities, right? So how are you making sure that of all the opportunities that are in your pipeline, that you are focusing on the right ones? And the features that are set up for Einstein that deliver to those are really around this opportunity management concept with opportunity scoring and opportunity insights, which means that you have the ability to see directly in your CRM or in Sales Cloud all of the information that you need to push those deals forward. That's something that Salesforce is using, actually. Thinking about a Salesforce on Salesforce story, 20,000 of our sales reps today across the world are using these tools to tie in and make sure that we're managing and focusing on the right opportunities at the right time. And using those insights that give us more information around the deals that are most likely to close so we can push those over the line, as well as the ones that are at risk. We think about risk factors that might contribute to us losing a deal and getting flagged so that we're able to mitigate those before they become a bigger problem. Next on the list is being able to prioritize leads. So I think we all can understand, or we've seen opportunities where we have leads that come in from multiple different sources, and not all of them are the same quality, and not all of them are the same quality from the different sources. And with lead scoring, you have the ability to let Einstein run embedded analytics so that you can see which of the leads are most likely to convert, so you focus on the right leads first. This is something that U.S. Bank did when they became a customer of ours. And they imported over 16 million leads into the process, and they saw over 2x improvement in lead conversion using Einstein and Einstein lead scoring. Next, we'll talk a little bit about improving decision-making and coaching. And this is really around analytics and using the analytics capabilities of Einstein to drive your business forward. Shazam did this, and actually the Shazam had 3 analysts that were working on building out these weekly reports for their leadership team. And every week, they spent time in Microsoft Excel and Word to build out what their decks should look like for their weekly meetings. And these analysts were spending about 80% of their time just formatting slides and formatting charts and putting them into the deck to get ready for this weekly meeting. When they rolled out the Sales Analytics app, they were able to instantly get access to the information, and with the reports and dashboards that I mentioned were built-in tools. They were able to, in real time, create charts and graphs in the meetings, and they didn't have to use external tools to talk about their processes anymore. Think about how powerful that is. So the analysts are able to spend their time working on actually thinking about sales strategy, and the leadership team could at any time and any place get access to how the business is performing. That's pretty powerful. Which leads into the last category, which is around being able to deliver accurate forecasts. If you think about how important it is to know how you're going to perform month to month, quarter to quarter, Einstein forecasting actually gives you a prediction on where you'll land based on all of the opportunities that you have in your pipeline, based on how much pipe you're generating from the leads that you've identified. And you don't have to spend time as a sales leader guesstimating or estimating who's overcommitting and who's undercommitting. You get a confidence interval that tells you whether or not you will land where you need to for the quarter or the year or the month for that matter. And this is something that Penrod did. They actually were able to implement forecasting, and the VP of sales for this company actually came back to us and said when they did a pilot, they were one of our first pilot customers, that if they didn't realize how much they needed the forecasting tool until the pilot ended. And then he realized how much time that he'd been spending over the last month or so actually developing his team and focusing on deals that needed to get closed and coaching his reps on how to push those deals forward. And he hadn't spent as much time focusing on what the numbers were because Einstein forecasting closed that loop for him. And they saw a 48% increase in win rates as a result of that pilot and became a customer. I have talked kind of quite a bit about all of the sales use cases and opportunities that you can use with artificial intelligence in Sales Cloud Einstein. But here is a chart that kind of puts all that together for you. If you think about it, we are always invested in making sure that as you are thinking about how to drive your business forward, that we're giving you tangible metrics that you can track. And all of the features that we bring to our product are tied to delivering for the features that you need. And that comes in 2 different ways. Thinking about how you impact your revenue. So there are a number of features that map to those that I've talked about today, as well as making your reps more productive and giving you visibility for all of those. I won't go into detail into all of these because we've kind of talked about them in some of the other slides, but this is just kind of the summary of how you might think about that. Now, you can learn more about this because there are resources available to you that help you get kind of a 101 view of how it might impact you and your business. And you can go to sfdc.co/AI for sales to learn more about it. Customer testimonials, feature details, product demos that give you a better visibility of how the product works. You can find it there. Finally, this is not all of the sales content for today. So here is the lineup of sales presentations that you can find today, including our sales keynote, which happens at 2 p.m. And that is all. Thank you all so much for your time, and have a great show.